One of the easiest way to manipulate the direction of the traffic remotely is to play with DNS records. Each operating system contains a host file in order to statically map host names to specific IP addresses. The host file is a plain text file which can be easily rewritten as long as we have an admin privilege. For now, let's have a quick look into the host file in Windows operating system. Now in Windows, the file will be located under C, then Windows, then System32, drivers, then etc. Let's have a look on the content of this file. Okay, right now if you read the description, you will see that each entry should be located in a separate line. And here is a sample of the record format where the IP should be placed first. Then, after at least one space, the name follows here. So this is an example for a record where the IP address begins first, then we got the host name here. Now let's see the traffic on the packet level, and I will open a Wireshark on our target machine. Okay, so let me start the capture. And I will make a filter on the attacker IP address. So we have an IP address of 10.10.10.100, which is the IP address of our attacker. So we can see the traffic before poisoning the DNS record. Okay, now I will go and open google.jo. And notice once I ping the name from the command line here, the operating system behind the scene will do a DNS lookup. So let me do a ping for google.jo. And we got the real IP address of 37.152.2.88. Now notice what will happen after we will do the DNS poisoning. So let me terminate this one and this one here. Okay. Keep in mind that we should run as admin to be able to modify the host file. Now, even though we are running as an admin, when it comes to run an application, you should explicitly do a right click, then run as admin. So I will just navigate to the directory where the host file located. Okay. So dir, and this is the host file. Let me do type host. So this is currently the original one here. And I will append the following line to the host file. So I would say echo www.good.jo, and I forgot to mention the IP address as we said. The IP address, then the host name follows. So I would say 10.10.10.100, which is the IP address of our Kali machine. So once the target go to google.jo, it should be redirected to the attacker machine. And after, let me just verify type host. Okay, so this is our line here has been added. Now after doing a DNS modification, it's always a good thing to flush the DNS cache just to make sure that we will use the updated record. And I would say ipconfig/flush DNS here. And it says flushed. Now watch what will happen after doing the DNS poisoning. So let me open my browser, and my home page is google.jo. So once I open my browser and navigate to google.jo, notice here on the Wireshark the traffic is going to the Kali IP address instead of the real IP address of google.jo. And this is because the DNS resolution for google.jo was 10.10.10.100 here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the capturing and I will recover the original host file back. So this is a copy that I made from the original host file before doing the modification. As you can see, it's the default one. So let me copy and paste this one here. Okay. Okay, so last step, let me flush the poisoned DNS cache. And I will open the browser again. We should go to the google.jo right now. And fair enough, so we are good to go right now. So now we're gonna automate the steps, but this time via a Python script. So let me open the script here. Okay, and let me just maximize the window here. Okay, so the first thing that we will do is to change our current working directory to be the same with the host file, and that will be done using the OS library. Then using subprocess, we will append a static DNS record pointing to the Facebook to 10.10.10.100, which is the Kali IP address. Last step, we will flush the DNS record. Now, since I made an entire video for phishing the Facebook account, I will just remove this one and make it to google.jo. Okay, so let me save the file here. Okay. Now we will export this script into exe, but remember that we need to make the target executed as admin. So what we will do here, in the setup file for the py2exe, we will add a new line. But before that, let me just make sure that this is the correct script here. Okay, so let me open the setup file. Okay, so I have added a new option here specifying that when the target execute the exe file, we will ask to elevate our privilege into admin. So this one will requires an administrator privilege. Okay, let me run the setup file. And I will start a new capture here. Okay. Now I will copy our exe file into the desktop. And notice here that we got a little shield indicating that this file needs an admin privilege, which will give us the exact result for run as admin. Okay, so let me run the file here. Okay. Now last step, let's verify that the host file gets modified. And fair enough, we got our line has been added here. So finally I will open a new session and we will see if we got the redirection here. So let me start a new capture, and I will hit on the Firefox. And fair enough, as you can see, the DNS lookup for google.jo is pointing to our IP address, which is 10.10.10.100. In the next video, we will see how we can take an advantage of this for password phishing. Thank you very much for watching.